Federigo's Falcon by Giovanni Boccaccio. Once, in Florence, there lived a young man named Federigo, son of Messer Filippo degli Alberighi. People spoke his name with a smile, not because he was rich, not even because he was handsome, though he was, but because he moved like a knight out of a story, quick with a sword, quicker with courtesy, famous across Tuscany for courage and for grace. And like most men born to songs and tournaments, he fell in love. Her name was Monna Giovanna. In her time, she was said to be one of the most beautiful and one of the most charming women Florence had ever watched pass down a street. He loved her as young men love the moon, by trying to rope it down to earth. He entered jousts, he held tournaments, he gave feasts. He spent money as if money were only the dust shaken from his cloak. All to win a glance, all to win a word. And she, no less virtuous than lovely, cared little for any of it. None of those shining gestures moved her, nor did the man who kept offering them. Now, money, treated like water, runs away. Federigo, spending beyond his means, taking nothing in, lost his wealth. All of it. What he had left, his little farm at Campi, whose thin revenues he lived on, and one falcon, yes, one falcon, among the finest in the world. More in love than ever, less able than ever to show it, he quietly left Florence for Campi. The farm, the lean rows, the open sky. He hawked when he could. He asked nothing of anyone. And he bore his poverty like a man who understands the weather. He cannot stop the rain, but he can learn to walk in it. While Federigo learned how to be poor and keep his dignity, another story unfolded. Monna Giovanna's husband fell ill, a rich man. He felt the end close by, and he made his will. He left everything to his son, a growing boy. And because he loved his wife very much, he wrote this. If the son should die without a legitimate heir, the entire fortune would pass to Monna Giovanna. He signed, and shortly after, he died. There is a custom among the women here. After a death, they spend a year in the country. So Monna Giovanna, now a widow, went to one of her estates, which happened to be very near Campi, very near to Federigo's small farm, and fate, which enjoys a gentle trick, let her young son make friends with the poor gentleman next door, the one with hawks and dogs and a kindness in his voice. The boy took to birds, to hounds, to open fields. He watched Federigo fly his falcon again and again, its proud stoop, its sure return. And he grew so taken with it that he wanted it very much. But he never asked. Even a child could see how dear that falcon was to Federigo. Then the boy fell sick. Monna Giovanna was grief itself. He was her only child. She stayed by his bed, hour upon hour, whispering comfort, asking again and again,
Is there anything that you want? Name it. If it can be had, I will get it.
She asked once, twice, many times. At last he whispered,
Mother, if you can bring me Federigo's falcon, I think I would be well very soon.
The mother's heart stopped for a breath. She knew the bird, she knew the man. She knew, without asking, that if she sent for the falcon, Federigo would give it. And she knew what the falcon meant to him. It was not only a bird, it was dignity. It was craft, it was companionship, it was his one remaining delight. She thought, how can I ask for the best bird in the world? The one thing he has left, his comfort in a hard life. How can I take that from him? She said nothing. She stood in the space between a mother's duty and a gentle man's pride. But love for a child is a law stronger than argument. At last she bowed to it. She would not send a servant. She would go herself. Whatever it cost her to ask, whatever it cost him to give. She bent to her son and said, Monna Giovanna, with a soft but firm tone, said,
My son, take comfort. Think only of getting well. Tomorrow morning, the first thing I shall do, I shall go for the bird and bring it back to you.
And the boy smiled, and that day there was a small light in his face. At dawn she dressed simply, took one companion, and walked, like a woman merely taking the air, toward Federigo's modest house. She asked for him at the door. It was not hawking season. He had been in his orchard for days, working with his hands. When he heard her name, Monna Giovanna, the one he'd loved so long, he was surprised and happy. He ran. She greeted him with that delicate grace of hers. He welcomed her with every courtesy he had left. And then she said, smiling, Monna Giovanna with a light, practiced charm.
Good day, Federigo. I have come to compensate you for whatever harm you've suffered on my account, by loving me more than you needed to. And the compensation is this. I intend to dine with you, with this good companion of mine today. A simple meal.
If you could have seen his face. He bowed, Federigo being humble and grateful.
Madonna, I remember no harm done me by you. Truly, all the good in me, whatever there is, comes from your merit and from loving you. Your visit is so dear to me that I would spend again everything I ever spent. But you have come to a poor host.
He brought her in, humbly. The walls were clean, the table plain. He led her into the garden, the only bright room he owned. There was no staff to amuse her, no parade of servants. Federigo being apologetic and eager.
My lady, since there is no one else, this good woman, the workman's wife, she will keep you company while I see to the table.
He left them among the leaves, and then, for the first time, Federigo fully measured how far he had fallen. He who had once entertained 100 men in honor of one glance, now had nothing in the house to honor the lady herself. No money left, nothing to pawn, not even a trinket. He ran from room to room like a man searching his past for a coin. He found nothing. He cursed his fortune. He cursed his waste. And then, his eye fell on the falcon, perched in a small room, plump, perfect, his craft, his joy, his friend. The hour was late, his desire to honor her, immense. He would ask no neighbor for help. He would not send to market. Number, if he could not give her rich surroundings, he would give her the best he had. He took the bird gently. He whispered an apology no one else would ever hear. And because there was nowhere else to turn, he did a hard thing in a simple way. He wrung the falcon's neck. He brought it to the servant girl to pluck, to dress, to roast with care. He laid the whitest tablecloth he had left. He breathed once, steadied, and returned to the garden with a cheerful face. Federigo with a bright spurt and softer tone.
My lady, the meal I am able to prepare for you is ready.
They rose, they went in. Federigo waited on them with a devotion that dignified the poor room, and they ate, praising the dish, never knowing the truth of it. After they had dined and talked pleasantly a while, the time for polite conversation was over. The true reason for her visit could not wait. Monna Giovanna folded her hands. She looked at him, kindly, but with the strain of it visible, and she spoke. Monna Giovanna being earnest, but unflinching.
Federigo, if you remember your past and my virtue you may have mistaken for coldness, I do not doubt you'll be amazed at my presumption. But if you had a child, you might forgive it. You have none, and I do. I cannot escape the law all mothers live under. That law compels me to follow it, against my will, against good manners, against everything, and to ask you a gift I know is most precious to you. Your fortune has left you no other delight, no other pleasure, no other consolation. I ask for your falcon. My son is so taken with it that if I do not bring it to him, I fear his sickness will worsen, and I may lose him. So I beg you, not because you love me, that gives you no obligation, but because of your nobility, which you've shown to be greater than any other in your courtesy, be pleased to give it to me, that I may say I saved my child's life. And because of this gift, he will be in your debt, forever.
Federigo listened, and when he understood, when he knew he could not oblige her because he had just given her the falcon to eat, the man who had borne poverty without complaint began to weep. He could not speak. The lady, seeing tears, thought, he grieves only because he must part with his good bird. She almost said, keep it, I won't have it. But she held herself still, waited until his tears quieted and he could answer. Federigo, slow, steady, broken open.
My lady, since it pleased God that I should place my love in you, fortune has been hostile to me in many things. I have complained of her, but all that is nothing compared to what she has just done. I shall never be at peace with her again. To think, you have come to my poor house, where, while it was rich, you never deigned to come. You asked me for a small gift, and fortune worked to make it impossible for me to give. Why is this? I will tell you briefly. When I heard that you, in your kindness, wished to dine with me, I judged it fitting, given your excellence, your worth, that I should honor you, according to my poor means, with food more precious than I give others. Remembering the falcon you now request, and knowing its value, I judged it worthy of you. Today you had it, roasted and served, as best I could. But seeing now you desired it in another way, my sorrow that I cannot serve you as you asked is so great, I shall never console myself again.
And to prove it, he set before her the feathers, the feet, and the beak. There was a long silence. She reproached him first, gently, for having killed such a noble bird to feed a woman. But in her heart, she praised him, praised the greatness of a spirit that poverty could not reduce, praised the instinct that made him give his best. She had lost all hope of getting the falcon. She felt that knot of fear, then the boy cannot improve. She rose, thanked Federigo for the honor paid her, and for his goodwill, and with a grief she did not conceal, returned to her son. A few days later, to his mother's extreme sorrow, the boy died. Perhaps his disappointment hastened it. Perhaps the illness would have taken him regardless. Some things are not ours to measure. Later, after the heaviest days of mourning had passed, her brothers came to her often. They urged her to remarry. She was young, she was rich, it seemed wise. She refused at first, politely, then steadily. They insisted. And at last, with her mind made and her heart resolute, she remembered Federigo's long fidelity and his last prodigal gift, that hard, bright act of honor. Monna Giovanna, calm and luminous, she said,
I would prefer to remain a widow, if that would please you. But if you insist that I take a husband, know this. I will take no man but Federigo degli Alberighi.
Her brothers laughed, teasing her incredulous,
You foolish woman! What are you saying? How can you want him? He hasn't a penny to his name.
but Monna Giovanna answered smiling and unshakable,
I know what I am saying. I would rather have a man who needs money than money that needs a man.
Her brothers saw she was determined. They also knew Federigo's birth was noble, even if his purse was not. They yielded. They gave her in marriage to him, with all her riches. And Federigo, finding himself husband to the great lady he had loved so long, and steward of a fortune he had formerly squandered, managed his affairs with more prudence than in the past. He lived with her happily all his days. So ends the tale. A man who gave his best and thought himself ruined. A woman who learned the worth of a soul. A falcon sacrificed in love. A child mourned in love. And at last, a home, built not on feasts or tournaments, but on honor made visible. If you ask what the story means, the answer is simple enough to tell by firelight, and strong enough to last till morning. Give truly, and you will not be poor. Choose well, and you will not be alone. And when fortune tests you, be noble still.